What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO here for Your Overwatch. I hope your placements for Season 6 have gone well. I got placed more or less where I ended at the end of Season 5, and luckily have won enough games in order to boost my way back into Grandmasters again. Today we're going to be digging into some of the meta-developing strategies in Season 6, particularly around Roadhog, but this sort of opens the door to all meta discussion, all team comps, and what is viable, so we have to touch on those ideas a bit as well. So if you have any interesting team comp stories from your placement games and thereafter, let me know in the comment section down below. We got a couple of examples, and the first one we're going to be looking at is Route 66, where we get a duo queue who doesn't join voice chat and picks Sim and Mercy on attack. Now, synergizing with this can be quite difficult because Symmetra isn't really a hero that can be propped up to succeed, nor does she prop anything else up. She's good at spamming at chokes, good at spamming towards immobile targets, but other than that, pretty gimmicky and niche, right? Doesn't really fit onto an attacking team very well, so it's hard to know what exactly to pick. Now, possibly, in this situation, I could go a healer, particularly maybe Zenyatta. It would help the Winston be able to kill things more frequently, but playing through this round, it started to become abundantly clear that we needed brawlers on point. And that idea in specific is quite useful to understand what Roadhog does now, especially against the enemy Doomfist, and both these games we're going to be showing today playing against the Doomfist. Roadhog is an easy pick all of the time. Doomfist is really going to struggle against Roadhog, but in general, Roadhog fits quite nicely into low healing comps now. It used to be the case where if you didn't have enough healing, picking Roadhog wasn't really possible because you just didn't have either the damage denial or the healing to put into Roadhog to make him viable, but that isn't the case anymore. Roadhog now is very self-sufficient in that he doesn't need to be pocketed in order to do his job anymore. All of that due, of course, to his Take a Breather buff, which he can use actively to block damage to get himself somewhere or to be running away, and also to heal himself to full anyway, just giving him that big bulk of healing to stay alive. Now, the cool thing that this does for Roadhog is that it allows him to deal with the problem of finding value in a different way than he used to. It used to be the case where his damage was just so significant in a big burst that he was just sick to play. You could put him as a damage dealing character, as a flank and surprise get an insta-kill character, but now, because he can sustain himself more, he has the tools to be able to work around the things that counter him. So for instance, Zarya's protection bubble for her teammates is on an 8-second cooldown, and that mirrors Roadhog's 8-second hook cooldown. So theoretically, she could bubble each one of your hooks. But Zarya, of course, needs to play for charge. So that means she's going to be spamming bubbles more than she needs to so she can work up her charge. As the Roadhog in this scenario, before he got the Take a Breather buff, he really didn't have the opportunity to wait around in order to wait for those openings for Zarya bubbles or Winston barriers or whatever to be out of his way. He just would have died and not found the value. But now, since he can stay alive in the fight longer and even maybe use Take a Breather to actively block damage, as the Doomfist tries to come in to contest the cart here, although we're probably going to win the fight anyway, I'm able to just take a breather and barely take any damage from it, using it actively like you would Orisa's Fortify, and it's strictly better than that ability, all things considered. The only problem with all of this, though, is where do you want to be picking Roadhog instead of D.Va? Because D.Va is so tanky, at least right now, right? To the point where she can't really be killed, but she also can block damage for her teammates, which is something Roadhog can't do. Well, keep in mind that D.Va, of course, is getting the rework. We don't know where that's going to fall, but even with the current D.Va, I think there's still places where Roadhog can see use, particularly, like I said at the start of the video, against Doomfist, because D.Va's not good against Doomfist, not particularly good at least. She's not as weak to him as people think she is, because all tanks really are pretty good against Doomfist because they make him take so long to be able to kill them. But whenever you need a character to just straight up go battle on the point with point presence, Roadhog's starting to feel really good in that spot. Sometimes that's all you need. And because he can sustain himself, you can put him in those comps where you don't necessarily have the ideal healer combination that you used to need in order to prop him up. Now, the cool thing about seeing what the new Roadhog's impact does is that he can stand on a point in a way where he used to be afraid because he was such an ult battery before. He sort of had to duck and hide away from the combat, whereas the new Roadhog, although he's less lethal, he's much more happy to just jump in and take contact. Roadhog is such a decoy target now that he can be in the line of fire. Sustained damage is likely not going to be enough against him because at any point you can kind of trap the enemy into shooting him and thinking he's a priority, and then he pops take a breather or he gets some heals himself, and all of a sudden he's back to full again, deleting all your progress, all the while his hook cooldown is just always coming back, right? The longer that fight goes, the more chances he's going to get at a hook, and if he keeps landing hooks, very likely you're just going to win the fight. By saying this, Roadhog's a tank now. It only took like a year and a half, but it happened. Roadhog's a tank now. He can just stand on the point and take damage. Now, we do an interesting thing on this Volskaya game where I'm actually using Soldier in the support slot. I know, that's crazy. It isn't crazy if you watch a lot of pro matches, though. They often make that swap where they will drop a support for Soldier. I think I really need to make a whole separate video on how to construct team comps because people get really tunnel visioned in on what they think the roles are when the roles don't matter at all. They're more like slots. What really matters is like overall team healing, right? If your team in general has enough healing. Now, typically you can get that by having 2 healers, but you might not need that and be able to leverage other advantages if your team has enough self-heal, for instance. And that's the cool thing that you can do with Roadhog because he is so brawly, he can heal himself, so although I wanted to go Lucio for the Volskaya attack, and against other things I might, unlike the other tanks who see much improved benefit when you put the support into them. If you use speed boost on Winston or Reinhardt, they become way more lethal. Well, Roadhog, he just sort of waddles into place, and once he's in the battle, he doesn't really need speed boost necessarily because he has a ranged ability anyway. Now, it's an important thing to note that my previous video on Pro Doomfists, I didn't realize when I was recording it, but I found out after that the pros thus far have been playing on the Doomfist patch, not the buffed Junkrat, Orisa, Widowmaker, Roadhog patch. That's really important. Makes things a little bit confusing though, because we have an old patch that the pros are playing on, we have the current patch that matchmaking is playing on, and then we're gonna have another patch with 2 reworks that are gonna change the game entirely as well. So it makes it kind of hard to track where everything's moving because everything's different in different places, but I do think this new Roadhog is definitely going to see play at the pro level, if for nothing else but to stop Doomfist, because on that Doomfist patch, he was looking really strong and really viable in tons of situations, and characters that got a new buff, Orisa and Roadhog, are definitely going to be good at dueling the Doomfist. And in the same way that you might say that Doomfist himself props up a ranged damage dealer like McCree, I really felt in all these situations whenever I was playing DPS that the Roadhog set me up. He succeeded quite well at brawling, he's always a threat, but as well, because his position of where he can play, that's kind of the key. Because he can be at the heart of the engagement now where he used to not be able to, it definitely supports the team in a way where he can just command space in a way that's a threat to enemies that want to be diving you, right? The old Roadhog kind of had to play off to the side a little bit, play for himself a little bit more, because although he had tons of HP, he still was fairly squishy in the grand scheme of things with his massive hitbox and how badly he got punished when he wanted to heal because he couldn't move. Well, this new Roadhog can be in front of your McCree and constantly be on the point of contact, and when that's the case, you're a really happy range damage dealing character, believe me. So, Roadhog players, how do you approach this new Roadhog? I definitely think you need to get in on the fight, be at the main point of contact and be creating space for your team. The new Roadhog is going to be a problem for some people, I think, once they start to realize how much power he can impose on the battlefield. You're going to have to either make the decision whether he is a priority or something to ignore completely, because you can't really afford to not finish him off. You might as well either ignore him completely or focus him completely, but you might find that's hard to do when he can absorb tons of damage when he takes a breather. I'm really excited where this new Roadhog and the entire meta of Season 6, frankly, is going. A lot more cool discussion about where the characters are moving in terms of their strength, and I think without a doubt, the Roadhog pick, it can just set you up for success. He's not a liability anymore, and maybe even more importantly, he's a lot of fun to play, I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you excited for new Hog? New and improved? He's back, baby! If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It really does help us out and lets us know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already, please subscribe because we upload each and every day, so you're going to want to hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Link to the description. Please check out our Twitter, where we tweet out news, updates, dank memes, and the occasional rants about the balance of the game from yours truly. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.